welcome once again to Gene Ho, and he's had another good weekend off. I've been reading an article from people that have gone over to the States from UK and finding they're working 9 days a week. I'm exaggerating slightly, but they're putting in 60 hours a week, and they don't like it.
Oh,
They're coming back
are you
to
talking about
UK.
are you talking about the Americans don't like it or the Europeans don't like
The
it?
Europeans don't like it. They're used to 40 hours maximum.
Well, you know what? I won't say for all Americans, obviously not, but Americans like to work. I mean, I know I do, and I think it's one of those things where even on the weekends, I do relax. As you know, I do my little fishing and everything, but a lot of people like to just go into the office and get everything straightened up so they start their Monday not all frazzled.
Yeah.
That's how I feel it. That's why it's Monday when we film this. One of the first things I do on Monday. But if I can get everything on the weekend, so everything's set, I feel much better about the
Well,
week.
quality of life is what they're saying. Oh, they enjoy the European quality of life. But the hang up here is they get half the pay. Well, if you're only working half as much, I suppose you'll get half the pay.
I think that's what it is. A lot of us in here in Americas, um, there it is still like that. That the harder you work, for the most part, the more you can make. So
Yeah, there you
it's
go.
still there in America.
Right, we got to talk about again Lindsey Graham and what a legacy he's left behind. I mean, I'm thinking about the sanctioning of Russia and Iran
Yes.
Act this year, 2026. And it's a toughie. It's brilliant. You'd never get that through unless somebody had a real push, and the guy was a
Yes.
real pusher.
Rodney, I don't think, for the most part, even a lot of us in the United States do not understand the significance of this bill that went through the Senate. I believe it was 86-11, Rodney.
Massive.
That's an ama- that's an amazing that's an amazing number to pass it through.
Mm.
Once it goes into the House of Representatives, they do what it is they take that and then they put it in a bipartisan bill. So I hate to say it, will absolutely, but it's going to be passed because they're going to take it and they won't vote on it alone, but they'll vote on other things that everyone could agree on. The president's going to sign it, and it is devastating, Rodney. It is they're sanctioning not only Russia and Iran, but pretty much anyone that does business with them. In other words, anyone that buys their oil. And these sanctions are very tough. This is not a good thing for Russia and Iran.
No, and it's not good for India either. And it goes to the third party countries that maybe not
Yes. Yeah.
involved in the oil thing, but they're
Right.
supplying weapons or whatever.
Well, what it is the main thing is that Iran and Russia are still supporting their war efforts. If you could say the war efforts for Iran, they're using oil dollars or oil money to finance their wars. And you can sanction all day long because they tried to do it before and they sanction. And what they do is they have what is called ghost ships. It's the dark fleet where they just load up these tankers and then it's almost like riding a car without a driver's tag. And then they switch the tags. But now what's going on is that they're sanctioning the ports, the ships, everyone connected with them is either going to be tariffed or sanctions. And so countries have to make a decision. Are they going to face these sanctions? And the tough part for them, Rodney, once it becomes law, it stays there until 2031. There's nothing they could do at this point. It cannot be stopped. It cannot be like we'll back off the war. It's there, and it's going to be crippling.
Yeah, we'll see how that plays out. The other thing happening shortly, of course, is the midterms. And I think we mentioned it last week, actually. There's a great barometer in the States, and that's the gas stations. And there you've got these massive hoardings. So you can see where the economy is going. And it's so important.
I, I, it's to me, it's hard to believe, but I understand it. For some reason, whatever the gas prices are, it's a reflection of the economy for people. And I cannot even believe it, but like when gas went to $4 US dollars a gallon, like people get really, really antsy. When it goes lower, people feel good. And it's a weird concept because if you're just traveling to work, it's going to be net, $25 more a week or something. But it really affects people like a lot. In the past, when I was traveling on tour around the country, it affected me a lot. I mean, sometimes I'm traveling, I'm doing two fill-ups a day
Ooh.
traveling. But now back here, I don't travel anymore. But for some reason, that is a psychological mindset that everyone equates how well the economy is doing to the gas prices.
When you go for your weekly shop, do you notice a difference year on year about the increase in prices?
I'll be honest. I do psychological mind games on myself, and when I say that, when gas is really cheap, I pull up into the gas station, fill up my car. I don't care what it is. But when the gas is more expensive, this is just me now. I'll just take 10 bucks and just get 10 bucks of gas, 20 bucks of gas. And the other trick is, I mean, one of my cars is like premium gas only. And I'm like, okay, I'll just use regular gas for a while. Big deal, right? So I know I play psychological games with myself when it comes to that. I haven't really seen too much of the grocery store um, inflation. So I think I know there's some Americans that just like deal with it the best way that they can. And I know that works with me. I just like, if I'm not filling up my tank because I don't want to put 70 bucks in it, to be honest. But it's the same difference. It just feels different, I guess, just putting 10 bucks here and there.
Moving on to our old theme of cryptocurrency. There's new laws coming through and new enforcements, and some are very clever and good because the ordinary Joe is going to be compensated. Normally, if the state grabs hold of a lot of money, it goes in a big pot and nobody sees it. But it's going to be directly put into the hands of those that have been cheated.
Well, here's what's going on in America, and this is such huge breaking news, and it's nowhere to be seen, but the executive order is there. President Trump on August 12th signed an executive order, and this is for the first time ever that they are deputizing cyber experts on some of these bigger companies to actually gather the evidence. And if I can say almost like going undercover, they will not be like undercover physically, but they'll set up accounts and then they'll collect the information on all these scammers and hand it over to the Department of FBI, and then the Department of Justice will take care of it from there. But could you imagine, Rodney, for the first time ever in the United States, they are deputizing cyber experts in the private sector to go after these people. And it is absolutely groundbreaking, Rodney. Absolutely groundbreaking.
And it's more than needed. I mean, it causes devastation. And they go for the vulnerable, these people, the old, and those that are not cognizant with crypto or even computers. But I've got some wonderful phrases here for you. Those that have suffered financial harm, pig butchering scams. Golly, what's that about?
Yeah,
Exchange hacks, rug pulls, wallet drains.
yeah. These are modern day scams where they gain. It's called a con or a confidence act. They gain the person's goodwill. So it's almost like a three-card Monty in New York, and when they do it in the streets, uh, the game's all fixed. But the first time, they let them win a little bit of money, and then they gain confidence. Oh, I can do this. I just won. It's so simple. They gave me, $10 back or whatever. But then you stay in the game because you think that you could win it, and then until it gets bigger and bigger. And so the difference now with this administration with Donald Trump is Kash Patel is actually going overseas. Normally, FBI is federal investigation only, but he's going overseas because it affects Americans. And so he's setting up shop in other countries, including Thailand, because this is where they hide some of their form of data centers. They hide them there, thinking that they're out of reach for the United States of a government, but it's not true anymore. Kash Patel is going after them.
We're switching tacks a little bit now. We're going to the USS Abraham Lincoln. And my goodness me, it's been afloat on the present mission for nearly 8 months. That's a long time, obviously, with things not going as quickly as people wanted to in the Gulf. But there's been complaints, allegedly. There are 5,000 guys and gals on that boat, and they appear to be complaining they can work shifts up to 18 hours. They're working every day of the week. Now, these are the comments being made. The toilets do not work properly. Things are getting pretty crowded in there, and their mental health is suffering. Now, that's what's coming out in the news. And now, significantly, Admiral Brad Cooper has gone out there to check for himself. And he said, nonsense. Now, what's going on here? Let me give you a hint. Democrats at work.
Well, here's the thing. In anything we do, especially in if a person is in the armed services, the amount of attitude a person has, and I'm not in the cheap seats because I'm not on the USS Abraham Lincoln, but at the same time, bringing this out into the open is demoralizing. It is absolutely demoralizing to that. When you read it, and I read it too. I saw some of the pictures of it. It fuels fire to our United States enemies. It just means that, I mean, it is not a good thing for whoever it was to have leaked it out. If it was just real or not real, that is not a good thing, and it helps. It does not help our side on it at all. To me, it's just what needs to happen is the rear admiral or the admiral needs to go there and check it out for himself. And I'm sure that we are not getting the explanation of the other ones in there saying no. Here's the thing, Ronnie. It's so easy to make any situation, even anyone's work situation, bad when you only focus in on the bad. And quite frankly, I get it. I'm in the cheap seats. I'm not on the Abraham Lincoln carrier. But it is not a good look when this happens.
No, it has been revealed about this that there has been a check already about a good many of the warships. And actually, the Abraham Lincoln has got the best record of all of them for mental health.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, here's a changing similar to that. I see online some of these videos of some of these cruise lines, and they show the pool deck, and other people have saying, no, that's an opening night party. It's not like that all the time. And then they'll do the video of what the actual cruise deck looks like. It's the same concept. I mean, you could easily make it seem as bad as you want it to seem. All toilets after a while will back up. When stuff like this happens, there's two ways to look at it, and I see it all the time with the cruise ship videos on TikTok. I mean, that it was like I wouldn't go. I wouldn't want to go to that. It's like there's 1,000 people on a pool deck, but that's like at a certain time at a party or whatever. So anyway,
that's what happens with the social media lot. But here again, lastly, Gold, we mentioned gold quite a lot compared with the greenback. But people are getting a lot of shocks apparently because they didn't realize that the IRS, that wonderful organization, has decided to regard gold as a collectible, like a painting, if you wish. And if you gain, at least you have to have it there 12 months, as most things in the US. It's 28% if you're paying the top rate that you have to pay on your gain. So all these great gains of gold in the last few years, which has come to a stop now, but it's been a good few years, then, nearly a third of it going is a lot of money.
I don't, when it comes to the IRS, listen, like I am no fan of the IRS. I don't think anyone is because you're paying your taxes and they're trying to get your tax money. But it is like they are still in the United States. It is a work in progress, and in the United States, there's a lot of these things going on where, hey, I wish some of these rules weren't the way they were. I mean, it's that simple. But what could you do except for just work for the government that you want? And even sometimes with the government that I want, some pieces of it I don't like. The Trump agenda I like. I'll be honest. The insurance part of it I don't like. It's getting very expensive. So it's just one of those things that in America you take things that in a basket. You have a lot of good things, but then there's some of the things in there you just don't like.
Well,
So
I'll give you some good things now. Crypto's only 20% as opposed to 28. And stocks and shares are similar. So there you go. It's worth bearing in mind. 8% is 8%.
all right, wonderful.
And I've said lastly, but I've got a supplementary question. How tough are the IRS? In Britain, we've got the tax gatherers, and in Spain, it's gone really tough. It's called Hacienda, and they won't listen. Whatever they say goes. You can be very unfairly treated, and there's no recourse against them. Is that the IRS as well?
Well, here's the thing in America, I do understand that, but one of the things that's going on here, and I'm sure in Europe as well, if you have MPs that you go to, but this is why the process is so important. Because if you do know your congressman, if you do know your attorney general, and you have, and I'm not saying like you chummy up to them, but if you do know them, they are to understand the recourses that we have as an American. And many people don't know that, even in America. There's been uh, times where people came to me with problems and they would say, well, could you get this to Donald Trump? Could Donald Trump help me? And I'm like, hold on. In America, we have a system. You go first to your United States congressman, or if it's a state issue, you go to your representative. And so I think what's going on in America is most people in America do not understand how the government is actually run. And that if you do have a problem, who do you go to? Well, that's the jurisdiction of the United States congressman, or that's the jurisdiction of the state representative. And so understanding this system works out to a person's favor.
There you have it from a man, obviously, that doesn't pay much tax. You're obviously not being paid very much.
Trust me, I don't, I'm no fan of it, but it's what it is. So
It's what it is. Thanks, Gene.
thank you.